Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Master of the Universe series, and today I'm going to show you how to create a 5-star match for your universe mode in WWE 2K19. Now, this is going to be slightly different to what I normally do with my universe mode because, as you know, I create my universe with my brother. So we play out each and every match together, so it's 2-player. But I know many of you play WWE 2K19 for your universe against the CPU. So I wanted to give you guys a helping hand, and I decided to play a match myself against the CPU and try to create a match of 5-star levels. So that meant no botches, that meant having smooth transitions, and I did add a few cuts along the way. But this is very much a watered down version of what I would put together. So this is something I could see being put in an episode of my universe because the match came out quite well. But I didn't go all out with this. But I wanted to show you that, you know, you can create a decent match. You do have to have patience. I will say that it's not as simple as playing it with someone else because, let's be honest, the CPU doesn't always want to play ball. But I got something pretty good and I think you can do the same. So before we get into this, I want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you stay up to date with all episodes of MOTU. Now, what you're going to see in just a second is me playing a match, and I'm going to talk you through this match because there's certain things that I do in the match to make sure that I do get an outcome that I want. Now, I'm not always going to get those outcomes, and at times I'm going to think, oh, I'm not too happy with that. And I'm going to be honest with you throughout this commentary where things did go wrong, but I move forward because you're not going to get everything you want when playing the CPU, but you have to limit, you know, the things you don't want. I don't believe that you can create a match where everything that you wanted will go your way when the CPU is involved, because I think that the AI could be more intelligent, and it's not quite there yet, but we're getting there each game that goes by, and that includes things like the referee. By God, we need some improvement on him. But let's check out the footage and let's see how I got on, and you'll understand as I explain as the match progresses. So let's check out this 5-star match. So here we go, and we've got a bit of fantasy booking with Chris Jericho versus CM Punk because everybody's talking about being the best in the world at the moment, including Shane McMahon. So I wanted to put something clever together because all they spoke about in the Royal Rumble was superstars being the best in the world. Now, you see, I'm playing as Chris Jericho. So at the moment, the way I'm playing this is that I want Jericho to be on the offense first. So Jericho takes Punk to the corner, and I had to play this match a couple of times, about 3 or 4 times, to get the outcome that I wanted. But I worked a sequence, and my sequence was that Jericho would reverse a few times, then take Punk to the corner, and you see Punk reverse. Punk is the CPU. Backbreaker by the CPU as CM Punk. I managed to reverse, and I'm going to be quite hot on the reversal key because I want to make sure that really I am controlling the match for the majority. So Jericho picks up CM Punk. Again, I'm Chris Jericho, and I'm taking my time with my moves. You'll see I'm not always going really fast to get on the offense because that allows the CPU at times to reverse itself. So another reversal, you see, very hot on the reverse. And it's a good idea when you do play matches like this that you go and look at your superstar's moveset and work out the moves that work. So you see there, now that annoyed me because I couldn't quite get up the turnbuckle straight away. Kind of bugged out a bit, but That's minor. Not going to worry about that too much. But thus far you've seen no botches in this match. Running Bulldog by Jericho. And I wanted to kind of limit the cuts as well. So at times when things go wrong, you're best to cut the footage and you can restart your match and redo it. But I didn't want to do that for most of this match. You see, he went for a reversal there. Now there's a move that CM Punk had assigned to him. It's like some sort of really fast running neckbreaker. And it looks like he's going for an RKO. I never ever want him to hit that move because it looks awful. So if he goes for it and I reverse it, that's why. And also that forearm shot, I don't like that either. So I'm always going to aim to reverse that because the CPU tends to feel like it's got preset running moves that always kick in every now and again. So anytime he kicks in with that running move, I'm likely to reverse. So keep an eye out. Punk comes forward. You see he took a little run there, had to block it. Another reversal by me, so it keeps the action flowing. Reversal by Punk. And all you want to do with these matches is keep it quite even. So you give the CPU a little bit of rope, and that's what I'm doing here. So Punk can have some offense now. So I'm not going to, be button bashing with the controller. I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm back up now. Shot by me. And Punk with the reverse. And you kind of want to think about that. Keep that in the back of your mind when you want the CPU to reverse. Because you've got to give him a little bit of time, a little bit of room, and he should do so. So, again, I'm not just going steaming in. If you go steaming in there to pick him up straight away, or see, I've got a bit of a gap between each punch. Because if you go all out, you'll encounter botches or things will go wrong. So again, I'm quite slow, quite methodical, like a real match would be. They don't all go fast-paced. And I actually didn't want Punk to go on the outside at all in this match. So I'm going to keep the action relatively limited. So I put him into the barrier. And now I'm going back in. And that's because if it gets too out of control on the outside, then it's going to kind of lose the feel of the match. Didn't want this to be extreme rules or anything hardcore like that. Just wanted this to be a wrestling match. So think about the style of match that you want to, because if you want it to be fast-paced, then maybe step up a little bit with your, the way that you're moving forward. But if you're on the outside of the ring, then, do something minimal so the CPU doesn't do like a stupid Irish whip or something like that and ruin the flow of the match. Punk went for a move there. I blocked it. A stiff shot by CM Punk. But you see, the control, where I'm controlling the match, DDT, is because I'm reversing quite a lot. Because if I let the CPU take over, he'll be doing silly stomps. He'll be doing lots of things that I don't want him to do. I backed off there and I did a taunt, but I did that because, again, I want to take my time, wait out, have a think about the moves that I've used as well, because that's another thing to think about when you're playing a match. Do you want to use the same move over and over again? Not really. I went for the code breaker there and I hoped. See, that was me hoping. So at points you just have to hope that things will go well, and it did. I wanted a reversal. I got it. Punk just used his signature. I don't know why it's that, but it is. And Jericho kicks out, and that makes a nice moment in the match. So the CPU can occasionally throw up some nice surprises. You saw it there. Now he's decided to put a chin lock on me, and I really want to get to my feet on this if I can. Can I? No. It's not looking like I'm going to. So I have to accept there that I couldn't get that to come off, and it worries me a little bit because the CPU's in control, but he's keeping it quite basic. And then I finally get my reversal in. Back up. And now Jericho's stamina was knackered at this point. Jericho with the reversal, and you're going to find at times you're going to have to reel out the same move over and over again. If Jericho ends up sending Punk over the top rope, then he's going to have to use that DDT, because I don't want the action to spill to the outside too much in this match. So you do have to, you know, reuse moves as and when necessary. Now, I went to the corner here to space out my moveset, and I found out, again, you find this out by playing the match maybe 1 or 2 times, that there's going to be sequences of reversals that always happen with the CPU. So I found out that if I went to that second turnbuckle, jumped off it, Punk would reverse. So with Punk reversing, I know that I've got a point where he can have some control, and that's what he's getting now. So like I said, I'm just kind of explaining my experiences and how I handle playing the match. But I will reiterate, I played this a few times. And Jericho now, I thought, perfect opportunity, and this is going to be interesting with the submissions. Now, I don't want Punk to tap out. So all I'm going to do here is just, you know, move my analog stick a little bit into the submission, but then just keep away from Punk's meter, because that allows him to automatically reverse. Now, if you don't know, if you just kind of stay away from your opponent's meter, then it will auto-reverse the move. So that gives you, you know, a counter from your opponent. The CPU will then reverse the submission and the match can continue. So it looks much better than just simply breaking the hold. So that's what we did there. And what you can do quite nicely with someone who's got a submission like Jericho, with the walls of Jericho, is you can just, you know, tease it. But if you don't want them to tap out, you don't then, you know, force the submission. See, and again, Jericho going back in again. And the walls are applied, but I don't want Punk to tap out. So just see, look, I'm not going anywhere near Punk's meter. But if you do go in and out, that's what she said, if you do that, then you will find that you can keep the submission on longer. I only kept it on momentarily there, so didn't hold it for long. That's what she said. So anyway, the match continues. And Punk's got some control. So I've enjoyed this match thus far because Punk has kept the control at times when I've wanted, and I'm enjoying that he's put this on me again. But this time, can I get the reversal? I want it. I'm trying to move as quickly as I can, and I've got it. So I've had a decent match thus far. It's been going on for around about 10 minutes. So it's beginning to get to a stage where I want to wrap things up. So I've been using relatively light moves with Jericho, and I just used a powerbomb. Now, I dropped that powerbomb at this point. I knew he had that with down on the analog stick, but I did not want to use that move at all until the latter stages of the match, because now we're beginning to get into the time where we want to wrap things up. So the match continues, and I'm just waiting for my spot, trying to find a moment where I think, look, that looked good, and here you see. I took a cut scene here, driving that DDT. You saw that DDT earlier in the match, but enough time has passed in the match for you to kind of forget it, and that move looks heavy, it hurts, and that is the perfect time to set up for a code breaker. Bang! Got it this time, and I know that Punk is worn out quite a lot, so it should be all. And it is. And if it wasn't, then what I would have done is I would have used that cut that I put in. I would have then restarted the match, beat up CM Punk quite a lot, and then hit the finisher, and that would have been the end. Or alternatively, I would have just used 2-player and then put the code breaker on Punk. But oh, the best in the world, Shane McMahon is here. And this is just something a bit extra that I added. So we used the cut of Punk on the outside of the ring. Shane McMahon is here. Of course, he is the best in the world. I talked about why I put this match together. Everybody's being called the best in the world. But who is the best in the world to you? Is it CM Punk? Is it Chris Jericho? Or is it the man with the trophy, Shane McMahon, as he goes coast to coast on Y2J, the Alpha Club taken down by Shane McMahon, and oh no, what's he doing now? Shane O'Mac Oh, dumps Jericho out the ring. Punk and Jericho have been thrown out. And the best in the world, not my opinion, is Shane McMahon. Yeah, right. So there you go. That is my experience when playing through a match against the CPU. Now, just again to reiterate a few key points here. I played that match around about 3 or 4 times in total, and that gave me a good feeling about how CM Punk would react as the CPU, and I began to notice patterns with the CPU and what it was doing. Like, for example, when I mentioned the running moves, now I kind of knew that he would go for a running move at certain points, and that was key for me to reverse, because if I didn't reverse, then it would end up either with a move that I really didn't like I mentioned, where it looked like he was going for the RKO. That move just looks terrible in this game. Not the RKO, but the move he goes for, it just looks rubbish. But you know, if that had happened, I wouldn't have been happy with that. I would have wanted to restart the match, or would have wanted to cut it. So that's something to note. Also, take your time. When you're playing as you've got to just, you know, weigh up when to go forward, when to pick up the superstar. If the CPU is rolling around the ring looking fatigued, don't pick them up straight away, because if you go and pick them up straight away, it tends to have an issue where it just kind of spazzes out or botches up, and you don't want that to happen, because that will ruin your match. Now, if things get kind of terrible towards the end and you've built this great match up, but then something goes wrong, don't fear, because the best thing to do is to cut your match. So if you want to cut it, all you have to do is find a moment in the match where potentially it threw up a cutscene and take it from there. Or alternatively, just cut to the crowd. You can do that. But the reason why I didn't see too much of that in this match is because I wanted to try and get through this match as much as possible without any cuts, just to see how well the CPU did. And in fairness, it did pretty good, but it did take a few plays. So learn about your opponent, learn the trends of the CPU, take your time with your character, and also as well, if you get big problems, a big problemo, then just cut when needed. Now, the other thing to think about as well is the finish of the match. And with this scenario where I just wanted to look, you know, like a decent finish, it wasn't anything spectacular. If it's going to get into spectacular level, then think about using cuts. Use the highlight reel if needed. All of those videos are on my channel, how you can integrate cuts into your matches. Go and check those out, how I use the highlight reel in the MOTU series. But think about that. But in this type of match, I just wanted a move that looked impactful to set up for me to use the code breaker. Now, I went for the code breaker once. If he'd hit that, I would have expected Punk to kick out, because he hadn't had too much damage at that stage, which would then have meant that I would have had to have hit it again. So I hoped it paid off. He reversed it. And then I didn't want to use my finisher. I used the Walls of Jericho instead to reaffirm that Jericho was trying to go for the finish. And as the match progressed, I waited for a key moment. That DDT from the outside to inside the ring on the apron just looks immense. So that came up again. Boom, nailed it. And I thought, look, let's go for the code breaker here, and hopefully it wraps up. And I will say this, you have to hold a lot of hope when doing these matches, because the CPU is so temperamental. The referee, for example, a few times in the matches I played previously, just got in the way. Get out the way. You know, that needs to be looked into by WWE games. The referee is sometimes drawn to the action. What the hell's he doing? Stay out of it. And also the CPU does have these patterns and these trends, and some of them are just not very good, and you won't get the reversal that you want. So you'll do something, you'll know it's coming, but you can't avoid it. Again, you've just got to counter that with a cut, or if it's really bad, you can always restart. But this is how I would do it. Now, I don't do this in my Universe Mode series because I play with my brother, but if I was going to do this, then this is how I would. It's never going to be perfect, you have to say that, but I think that match came out pretty well. If you watch that back and I just added normal commentary to it, I think you'll think, well, that had some highs, some lows, some high spots, and then it had a decent finish, and that's what you want. When people say a 5-star match in a WWE game, and when I say it for this, what I mean by that is no botches, no major issues, nothing looking stupid, nothing that you'd see on Botchamania, and no referee interruptions where it looks like, you know, he's just kind of messing with the match. So if you can cut all of that out and you get, you know, a smooth match with some big spots, some low spots, and a decent finish, that against the CPU is a 5-star match. And this match actually got as a star rating in a WWE game, it got 4.5 stars. So you can call this a 4.5-star match, but to me, if you can achieve this, then you've done pretty good. So like I said, it depends on the complexity of how far you want to go. If you want to make it bigger and better, then go and use cuts. Very simple to add them in. I could do an advanced on this, so if you want to see this more detail and me add more cuts to it, I'll show you through that process. So if you're unsure of what I mean by, you know, cutting up the action and adding more into it, let me know and I'll add more in and you'll see what I mean. So I will play another match and do that, but this is just a beginner's guide to trying to master the CPU, react when the CPU comes at you, what you need to do, and how you should counter it, and utilize the reversals to play to your advantage. So that is it. I've talked enough. You've seen what I've done. Any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And like I said, hopefully this helps you create your matches. If you want real in detail about match scripting, hit the like button. I'll work on that and I'll think about what the best way is to approach it. I thought the best way for this, because I played the match and I didn't really want any cuts, I just wanted to explain my feelings and my expressions as I went through the match, and that's what we've achieved. So all that's left to be said is please rate, comment and subscribe, and I hope you master your CPU and your universe. And this once again has been MOTU and Delzinski signing out.